redefining co-working.
Exceptional offices for every business.
This summer, eSpaces expands with 2 premier locations.
Cool Springs at Corporate Center and Brentwood at City Park.
Explore the private offices, team suites, and fully equipped meeting rooms.
Opening July 2025.
Limited spaces are available.
Schedule your private tour now at espaces.com and be sure to check out all 15 locations at espaces.com.
That's espaces.com.
espaces.com.
That's the thing. It's dangerous climbing a ladder, man. That ladder never ends.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I find myself nowadays like kind of enjoying where I'm at and always pushing it. I mean, I'm pushing it every single day, but not missing where I'm at because it's dangerous to live on what's next, and you miss what everything that got you to this point.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to get married before, like you get a record deal, then go ahead and get married. That way, before she knows what's going to happen, it's good or bad, you don't know. Just go ahead and lock her in. You know? And kudos to you with Monica. She's lovely.
Y'all's stuff is so guitar driven, and it's the intro riff. As soon as those songs come on, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a thing anymore in country as much.
You're right.
Rock things, it was always a thing in rock, right? It was so identifiable by that intro riff. That's was
part of the
hook.
songwriting.
Before you even get to the lyrical hook, it's a whole musical hook from the top.
What's it like cutting a record in there? Because I hadn't seen that with Neil. What's it like?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm upstairs at Pat's studio, and he's downstairs with Pat with a baseball bat, hitting the top of the rafter when I'm not hitting the note right.
I can see that.
That's amazing.
That is so clear to see.
What are you doing?
That's amazing.
I'm not an asshole.
No, he gets a little Tommy Tough Nuts with me up there.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
You always do that?
No, I'm just starting something new.
And
And
welcome back to the Try That in a Small Town podcast. We have the stopwatch going. We're here at the Patriot Mobile Studios. We got Kayla, we got Thrash, we got TK tonight. It's going to be pretty fun, y'all. Pretty fun.
You forgot to introduce yourself.
I'm Kurt Fondue.
Fondue.
That's the nickname Neil gave me. It's very cheesy or chocolatey, however you prefer. Tonight, we talk about this a lot. How do we go viral? How do we go viral? We got somebody that went viral. He's got a new EP. He's got a new single. It's called what?
Bullet.
Welcome, Ben Gallaher. Yes. We were just laughing before we got on here. How many people say Ben Gallagher? Like the comedian.
Every single one of them.
yeah.
Showed up to shows, marquee, tonight.
Oh, no.
Ben Gallagher. What are you talking about? So now it's in the rider.
Yeah.
$1,000 fine.
So you got people wearing like trash bags on the front row thinking you're going to do the watermelon trick on them.
J-Lo, I thought you were
Right.
going to bring some
Yeah.
watermelon.
Well, he does sometimes.
Do you get asked that on radio? I mean, when you're out on radio, do they bring up the last name at all?
Yeah. It was like, this is a classic. Right before we're going on stage of his radio show and the PD's announcing, or somebody comes out and announcing. And it's like, and I'll say like, hey, it's Gallaher. It's like Gallagher, but no second G. Oh yeah, got it. Gets up there and he does his thing. It's like, man, we're fired up to have you. Asheville, welcome, Ben Gallagher. 2 seconds before we had just talked about it. But what are you going to do, man?
Hey, you know what? Aldine had the same problem.
We
though.
was just going to say that.
Used to be saying it radio back in the old days. Even still,
No, they
though.
still do it today.
Jason Aldean.
Aldine.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have buddies that do it. They call
All
them
the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I can't tell you how many talk shows we were on. The PR person goes up and says, okay, it's Jason Aldean. And then they introduce it, Jason Aldean.
And we play, and we're okay. There it is.
So
maybe
I don't know.
maybe you're onto something.
I could be, man. I don't know. I hope. Thank y'all for having me. I'm pumped to be here.
Tell the listeners where you're from, Ben.
Pennsylvania.
What is that?
Pennsylvania.
The redneck side of Pennsylvania.
That's
So Pennsylvania, what eastern or western?
Kind of central. I'm in between Pittsburgh and Philly.
Is that where the Amish are?
Nice.
I'm part Amish. No, I'm just kidding.
We had an Amish
He probably heard it.
Mennonite conversation.
How much do you know about the Mennonites or Amish?
Do you know what a Mennonite is?
Not a lot.
Okay, either do we.
He would know
So-
more about
We learned a lot.
Yeah,
We
he
learned
would
a
know
lot.
more about the Amish than he would Mennonites. I don't think there's that many Mennonites up there. They're all down
Well, the
here.
Amish won the election for PA.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Did you see all those videos?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Is Pennsylvania where they say yuns?
Ewan's.
Yuns?
How yous doing?
How yuns doing?
Got to go up with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
See?
I like those
That does
Amish.
sound Amish.
I do. I like those Amish, and Mennonites, they really had no chance against the Amish.
Well, Tully called the Mennonites posers.
They are posers.
They like
I don't
to-
know much. I don't know enough about.
Well, they're not sacrificing
They're not-
anything, man.
Mennonites have cell phones and pickup trucks. Some of them have power running to their homes.
I don't know. I like
I don't even know
Some
Mennonites.
heat in there. Yeah, I mean, they're great.
I don't know how
I mean,
you could call it just because you grow a tomato, doesn't make you Amish.
Hey, do you guys know of anybody that has complained or said that they've felt anything weird or off after having the COVID vaccine?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, Kalo. And there's this study, Dr. Peter McCullough, I just found it here. Study, it's called Risk Stratification for Future Cardiac Arrest After the Jab. It's really interesting.
There's alarming rates on rise in cardiac events among healthy people. I mean, I've seen so many stories and read so many stories about young athletes, having cardiac issues, and they never did before. They're perfectly healthy people.
Healthy in shape?
Mm-hmm.
So his study found that like little patches of heart inflammation that doctors miss could be building up actually leads to like sudden heart attacks, during exercise and, even when you're sleeping.
Yeah, that's why the wellness company created the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox made with natural ingredients.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it's all real ingredients, right? It's all natural. It helps clear your body of spike proteins.
But it also reduces inflammation.
And supports heart health.
And don't wait till symptoms come on. Try the only formula that is approved and used by Dr. McCullough.
And you got to respect the guy. I mean, he's a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all, just like we did when we wrote the song. You got to respect the man.
So head over to twc.health/small-town.
Repeat it. TWC.
.health/small-town.
Yeah, you can put in the code and you get 10% off.
Yeah,
Exactly.
code Small Town.
Free shipping.
Code
Easy.
Small Town, you get free shipping, 10%
Free shipping.
off.
No reason not to do it.
And get back to that pre-COVID feeling.
So Ben,
I can
when
grow
did
a
you
tomato.
leave Pennsylvania and come here, and why? Give us the backstory.
Yeah. 2011 is when I moved from Pennsylvania. Wow. I started playing guitar when I was 6.
6.
And drums.
And drums.
A little research.
I didn't even know you
Yes.
played drums.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can find that on the
Before-
wide world web. I found it out this morning.
The wide world web.
J-Lo did his homework.
Well, good.
No, I started beating on like soup cans with pencils
Yeah.
before, like when I was 5, and my folks saw that, so they got me a drum set. And then not long after, they got me a guitar, and I figured out later.
Man,
if
your
I
parents are
drive in-
rich.
No,
They just didn't want you to play drums in the house.
that's it.
Okay.
And no, I just took to the guitar. It just fit me. I had a couple lessons early on, but honestly, it's a total God thing. I mean, nobody in my family was musical at all, and I took to it, and from then on is when I knew this was what I was supposed to do.
Okay, so go back. When did you start guitar? What age?
6.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't add at 6.
Yeah.
When did you start playing?
17. Yeah. I was playing piano as a young lad.
We're still trying to get Kurt to play guitar on the show. He won't pick one up.
Why not?
He won't back me up.
Now,
The passion's gone.
That's the passion.
let me ask you a question. When you started, so I started playing around 8 or 9.
Okay.
Bass. Did you have that point where you? Because I remember I got my first bass. I was 8 or 9, and I played it a lot for like a few weeks and months, and I put it away for a little bit, and maybe like a year, and then I just picked it up one day and like just never put it down. Was it the same thing, or did you just pick it up at 6 and just continued, or did you?
I
Ever
mean,
have
there was
that?
times I got away from it, but not not for very long.
But then that moment when it clicked, I remember that specific moment when I picked it up and I never put it back down.
Yeah.
You know, which is interesting at that young age, you know?
And I think it goes from like this crazy pipe dream to like, for me, when I was like early high school and then middle of high school is when it flipped, where it's like, no, like I'm moving to Nashville in like a couple years. That's where it flips from.
So did you grow up listening?
I want to do this. And then, no, I'm going to do it.
That's amazing. Were you listening to country music like exclusively as a kid, or was it kind of everything, or what inspired you?
Strictly 90s country.
Yes.
I didn't get into rock and roll until high school.
Wow.
Because that's all my folks had playing in the house. So that's all I was exposed to.
So give us some of the artists, like the 90s country stuff.
All Brooks and Dunn and Tracy Lawrence, Tracy Bird, John Anderson. I mean, Black Hawk. I got down to all that, you know. So, and then that guitar playing in like, you know, some of the Alan Jackson stuff, Brent Mason, like, I was like, what is going? It's a chicken picking thing. Yeah. And my music now does not sound like 90s country at all, but I always thought you can be inspired by music that may not sound like the music you make, but it helps you, you know, you're influenced by it.
I love that.
I guarantee you this kid right here could sing every word to every song that we've had cut. Album cuts, not singles. So he knows them all.
Really?
All of them.
So, and that, I mean,
blew my mind.
I'm a massive Jason fan, and all those records.
Please continue. Extend this segment. But mainly the bass lines inspired you to be a better guitar player.
And particularly songs that these guys are a part of.
They're like, man, I don't really hear the bass in there. I wore those records out.
Okay.
Like,
I love that.
To the point where like they wouldn't even play anymore. Like, no shit. And I remember looking in the credits, and y'all just talked about this recently on one of the episodes on flipping through, you know, the book and see that that's kind of non-existent as much anymore. But I think maybe it could have been a wide open record, and I'm looking at it, and man, this guy's name is on all these songs. Who's this Neil Thrasher guy? He's writing all these my favorite songs.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Then we wrote one day. And I had no idea.
Well, how did you guys meet then? Yeah. What was the connection? How did you guys get together?
So when I was signed at Sony, Jim Catino actually is the one that first put us together. Love Jim.
Yeah.
And this was probably 2015 or 2016 maybe.
Yeah, right around there.
And, you know, that's a big deal to write with, it's a massive deal to write with somebody like that, you know, especially because I knew all the songs. It's like, holy shit.
He knew all the album cuts, and he was blowing my mind. I'm like, you know, he's looking at, you know, album cuts that I'd forgotten about.
You know what's funny?
What?
Is that
he knew them all.
A lot of people,
awesome.
they'll talk about the My Kind of Party album as like the big album. But, you know, we hear Wide Open album. Even my son, like that's the album he loves the most as well.
It's like Michael Jackson. Everybody thinks Thriller, but Off the Wall right before it was the one that kind of ascended him there.
Off the Wall, what a great album. Yeah.
So
Seriously.
Jason Aldean, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. You see what we did there? Ben, is this adding up to you, making sense now?
Starting to.
So,
hey, Relentless record was badass.
well,
We kind of
had
went to take on
look,
that
we hit
one.
a speed bump with Laugh Till We Cried.
That was not a speed bump. It was a top 5 record.
Look, we definitely lost some serious. Oh, sorry, Kayla. We definitely lost some momentum. No, I'm kidding. It was,
Relentless was actually we
Yeah.
joke about it, but the actual song Relentless, I don't know what it went to, 13 or 15. It kind of stalled some of the momentum he had started.
Were you on
with
that
the
one,
first
Telly?
record. What's that?
Were you on Relentless?
maybe the bass line killed it. Yeah. But, you know, it's a good thing to talk about, though, because, like, even, you know, we worked so hard to get to the Hicktown spot, right? And you first number one, and your big song, Amarillo Sky, and you get to Relentless, and you're like, oh, well, no way this isn't going to keep rolling. So Johnny Cash, that did well, but it wasn't, like, incredible. And then it just went, like, Relentless, and Laugh Till We Cried was an amazing song. probably just the wrong time. You know what I mean? Timing wise.
Yeah.
But I remember on the bus thinking, well, Aldine was talking about it, like, well, this might be it. We might have.
Yeah, we knew if we didn't come out of the box hot on Wide Open, and you can relate to this, and a lot of artists can, man. It's tough. And if you don't keep that momentum going, the momentum the other way is faster and quicker and more brutal.
Very brutal.
And so we knew that Wide Open had to come out strong. So Neil was all over that one. Thankful for that.
No.
Way to go, Neil.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, but
But
seriously.
I remember the first time hearing him sing, though, like that first writing session that we had, and we sit down and we start messing around, and he starts singing, and I'm like, man, listen to that raw, listen to that rasp, that raw.
Yeah.
It was a rock thing to me, And I remember it wasn't long after that, even after we got together again, it was like, man, I could put that kid's voice to tape, work his tail off. If I ever had the chance, it would have some,
Yeah.
Because the stuff you were cutting was good, but it wasn't what I was hearing at all. Not with you. It was just, I wanted
Ben,
to get,
that's
I wanted to
interesting
go,
with the voice, because it is like a rock sounding voice, but the fact that you grew up listening to all country, was your voice always like that? It's very unique. Did you always have that rasp? Or
Yeah.
did that kind of get developed when you listened to some more rock?
No, it was kind of always there.
Yeah.
So 90s country was like early on growing up, you know, and then, Jason and Eric Church, and the early Keith Urban records I got down to big time, especially with being a guitar player, like the Golden Road.
But you're a great
Be
guitar
Here.
player.
Oh, thanks,
you're
man.
a great, artists like you, I wish would just have the most success, because it's artists in every sense of the word. You're writing, singing, but your guitar playing, that's a whole nother thing that speaks, So I remember after we wrote the first time years ago, a decade ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
It is crazy, yeah.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Yep. But I remember telling Kurt, like, this is really, that's real artist, playing guitar. Oh, it's really, really impressive.
What were you on? Was
I
it Sony
appreciate
that
that.
you were on?
I thought it was
at that
Warner
time?
then. Was it not
Sony.
Warner?
Yeah, it was Sony.
Sony. Okay.
Yeah.
And was it at the end of the deal that we were writing? I can't remember, because I was trying to remember the timing of that.
Yeah, it was. It was like maybe a
Give
year
us the ups and
before.
downs, man.
Is that why you didn't
There's a
finish the
lot.
demo?
Yeah, I signed.
Sorry, Ben. Yeah. We never finished that demo, I don't think. But it was towards the end of the deal, so.
Maybe we get back on it.
Yeah.
I'm cutting soon.
Yeah.
I signed at Sony in 2014.
Okay.
And a couple months after I signed, there was a regime change.
Oh, yeah.
So, and y'all know what that means, but for listeners, like,
yeah.
it's like a bank, somebody, the new guy comes in, a lot of times they'll blow out and clean house and restart with their people, right? I actually made it through that cut, but it was never the same, because Randy Goodman didn't ever really have his stamp on me, because he wasn't the original one to sign me. Gary Overton was.
Right.
It's like,
So, fast forward, I was there, and I had cut 18 songs in that span of time, and on the shelf, collecting a lot of dust on the bottle on the shelf. And turned in 5 sides that I was jacked about, and they're all excited. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and they got cold and said, "Hey, we want you to go back in and cut some more stuff. This whole edgier thing is not, we need you to be this more softer, like the pop, at that time, pop country was like smooth. That was like," and after being there for like 5 years, I asked out. I remember the night I called Catino, and me and him are boys still to this day. And I was like, that's it, dude. I've been here for this long, and it's hard enough doing it with stuff that you love. I'll be damned if I'm going to go out and play shit that I hate.
Yeah.
It's not me, you can't put my vocal on a Dan and Shay track, it's just like,
Well, that was
Yeah,
the mindset.
you have to be genuine.
Yeah, that's the mind. I swear, like, the landscape, it's changed so much. We've talked about this all the time on this show, but I really feel like the type of artist that you are, if the landscape doesn't change, say COVID doesn't happen, or say streaming doesn't have the foothold it has now, like if this is, like the way it used to be done with radio tour and radio, and I think you're already way more successful if the landscape doesn't change, because you can go out and play clubs. Great show, great performer, when you really had to grow things grassroots, where it doesn't work that way anymore. Grassroots is now done through DSPs, and YouTube, versus beating up the road. And your work ethic and your ability, I wish it was like, I don't want to say old days, but
Yeah, sure.
maybe 10 years ago. I wish you had done that then, because I think you'd already be ahead of where you are.
There's no doubt. I mean, he's been light years away ahead of these TikTok.
Not that you're not going to get there.
Yeah, no,
But the frustration is real, though. The frustration is real. You know?
I've been in a van and trailer for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But, you see all this now, everything's, TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And I'm here for it in terms of I think that's a great tool that can be utilized. But that also opens the door for new artists to skip a lot of steps.
Amen.
And I've watched it firsthand. And it's like, there is no substitute for getting out and playing the clubs.
No.
And
That's
learning
why it's
how
got
to
to
work
be
a
so
crowd.
frustrating for you, for me.
Which is
When
probably
you
why.
when you see that these TikTok artists get big, and they just, here you are, light years of way ahead of them live, and as far as your chops go.
But you're seeing it happen, though. You're seeing
It's got to be frustrating.
you're seeing new artists come out with a hit, and you don't hear from them again. It's happening.
Yeah. Well, they're not ready.
A new artist will come out, have a hit, and then they'll disappear. And it's happening a lot. You don't want that either. You want the staying power, but I think with an artist like you, timing, like just the right time, the right song, it's going to happen,
I've always just done what I do. So I never really chased anything, Somebody was like, man, let's do it how, let's do like a Morgan Wallen thing as a writing session. And I was like, you can't do Morgan better than Morgan. Like, that's not what, but point is, I've always just, and I've evolved and pushed it a little bit here and there. And I think that's fantastic for an artist to evolve in that way. But I'm not going to go out and chase something that somebody else is doing because that's working. I'm going to do what I do. That's the best way to be unique and stand out, is to be yourself and do what you do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I don't think a lot of people get that, which is why you see some people that are one and done or whatever. It's like they're just not being genuine to who they are. And it's such a, I love your story, perseverance, and all that, because people think, you got a record deal, you're rich and famous, right? I mean, that's just what it kind of happens.
So
man.
I'm
And
worth $5 million on Google.
No, I saw that and I'm thinking, I got to talk to him about this. You're really monetizing those socials, aren't you?
on y'all.
Dang, Ben, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, and did you go to Belmont? Did you graduate
I
from there?
transferred in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still paying for it.
And so wasn't it one of your instructors or professors that sent some of your music to Sony?
To
Isn't that
Sony,
why
that's
you got
how it
it?
first
How you got a
happened.
deal,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I always think that's interesting because people are always wondering like how do you make it? How do you get the published deal, record deal, and all that? And it's interesting that even for me, I went to Belmont. I was actually there today for the Celebration of Life for Ben Vaughn, which is an amazing service. Amazing guy and buddy, and huge impact. But such a moving Celebration of Life service. It was awesome. But I was there today, and I thought about you going to Belmont too, and then that professor sending your music and you getting that deal. And it's kind of the same for me. Like the graduating itself, the diploma didn't really get you where you're going, but going to Belmont and meeting different people and stuff like that is something that set you on your way. So I thought it was kind of cool. We had that similarity a little bit, that we utilized not the diploma, but Belmont itself to get to Music Row, which is just a couple blocks over.
For sure. No, I think 100%. And I think too, like being out in the field too, you learn more doing it than you do in a classroom. But we utilize Belmont for things other than that, you know. But
how many shows you doing this year?
We're about to be out all summer, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's the only way to
Thank
do
God.
it.
Yeah.
That's
I love being on the road, man. I remember nights at Belmont, like I would stay up at night trying to figure out how to get on the road. Formed a band, rented a van until I could buy one, and we'd play every place you could imagine on the weekends. Just because I was fixated on, I'm a live guy. I mean, I feel, and I like writing songs, but I belong more on stage than I do, writing every day strictly.
It's the cool thing about Ben, though. Let me chime in here. He's not one of these artists that's like, I got to write everything.
Yeah.
I got to be a writer on everything. I mean, if he finds something, he'll cut it.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of them left.
Well, some of the biggest artists in our genre have taken
That's
that.
right.
Not a lot of the newer artists do, but the bigger, established ones, that was the MO. Best song wins.
That's it. And if not, it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
well.
I would only want to cut who gives a shit, dude? Cut the best song there is.
Language.
Because
Nobody cares.
they forget, these young guys, not you, the other young guys, they forget that the people in the crowd,
Yeah.
as far as they're concerned,
You did.
Jason
write
Aldean wrote all those songs. Those
Yeah.
are his songs.
They could care less who wrote them.
And that's what it's supposed to be like. The artist is supposed to cut songs that it feels like they wrote.
it. Yeah.
But you're right. Do you want some publishing money, or do you want a big old Live Nation touring contract?
Yeah, when you go see Aerosmith and they play Miss a Thing, you're not thinking,
They couldn't
Diane
care less.
Warren.
Oh yeah.
You're going to Aerosmith. Yes.
I wish more young guys were like you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you have everything it takes to be successful, and it's like, it's gonna get there. But you deserve to get there. Like the work ethic and the ability and the want to and the smarts. We've talked about this. You come out, hung
I
out
don't
on
know
the road
about the
before.
smarts.
Well, the smarts, even at its most basic form of being willing to cut songs that maybe you didn't write.
Yeah.
Because the only people that care about that are on Music Row. And really, I mean, honestly, like, that's cut a hit song, go play it and own it and tour on it, have a hit,
No doubt.
But yeah, being, the poorest we've ever been is when we had a record deal. That's, you don't get poorer than when you first, Neil, it's the same thing. Like when artist, and you got a song out, like,
You're going in the hole.
oh man.
Big time.
Oh, live in the hole, man.
But it sounds so
Still trying
cool.
to get
though.
my ass out.
You know what I mean?
But it's a truth.
It does. It sounds so cool. If you got a record deal, that sounds amazing. That's kind of worth something in itself.
Well, you
Right?
think so, but like I said, most people don't realize you're $1 million in the hole pretty quickly.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to do it because you love it. It's
Yeah.
too hard to do it, it's not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna last. But you have to do it. That's what I've been in town forever, but I do it because I love making music. I love playing live, and it's never like about. That's the thing. It's dangerous climbing a ladder, man. That ladder never ends.
Yeah.
So it's a. I find myself nowadays like kind of enjoying where I'm at and always pushing it. I mean, I'm pushing it every single day, but not missing where I'm at, because it's dangerous to live on what's next, and you miss everything that got you to this point.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to get married before, like you get a record deal, then go ahead and get married. That way, before she knows what's going to happen, it's good or bad, you don't know. Just go ahead and lock her in. And kudos to you with Monica. She's lovely.
Kayla is one of the funniest guys I
She's
ever
lovely.
met.
I
I'm
know.
not lying.
He really is. We talk about it a lot.
He gets a little looser on here. He starts getting great.
Kayla, you're the man.
Oh,
Kayla,
gosh.
you're the man.
I don't know.
He is the man.
He is the
Let's
man.
take a break, Jim.
Hey, but actually, we do need
Thanks,
to
brother.
take a break. But before we do that, I want to talk about this. You were talking about being on the road, and one of the coolest things that I think you do and have done, I'm not sure if you still do it, but let me know. You do these state prisons, and you do this thing every year, right? You go do this thing. I know you're doing it in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if you do it in Tennessee, but talk about that, because that's one of the coolest things that you do. It's just awesome.
No, thanks, man. I did it for 10 years.
Wow.
And I don't do it anymore. It was all in Pennsylvania. A friend of mine by the name of Chris Hall worked at the state prison in Pennsylvania. And in 2011, he said, "Hey, man, got this wild idea. We're thinking about bringing in music at the state prison. You ever think about coming in and playing? And I was like, hell no, I ain't doing that.
I just watched.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Went in that first year, solo acoustic, brought my own speakers, Mackie Thumps. Remember those
Oh,
things?
yeah.
Brought those in, 250 inmates in the gymnasium. I played, you could have heard a pin drop. It was unbelievable. And it spread to all the other state prisons. So my phone started ringing off the hook with these other state prisons. Hey, we want to have you come play. So I started to do a tour of it. And I've played about all of them. I could tell you some crazy stories, but it's like, you're playing to guys that are probably in the lowest spot in their life they've ever been. Mm-hmm. I'm playing a heartbreak song, and I'm watching a guy in the front that's bawling. There's a dude that's come in a wheelchair. He's been in there for life. You know, this ain't county jail. This is state max security.
Yeah.
No shit.
It's
And a dude's, I've told this story a couple times. This dude comes up afterwards. I get to talk to some of them, and he said, hey, man, I got to tell you, I've been in here for 20 years, and I hate country music, but those songs just changed my whole outlook on life, and make me want to be a better person and chase my dream when I get out of here real soon.
Yeah.
As an artist and a writer, that's the reason you do it, right? To have a connection like that with a listener, and like through a lyric and a melody. And like, I'll get messages all the time from guys that have since got out, or family members, and said, hey, I talked to so-and-so on the phone last week. I haven't heard him that happy in 10 years. You took him out of prison for 90 minutes. And it's like, wow.
Dude, that's so cool.
So it's just a straight up ministry then that you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it anymore, but yeah, it was.
don't upset any of them. So when they get out,
No, they give me a necklace. We call it the oh shit button.
Yeah.
And seriously, there's a
Language.
button on there, and before the show, they'll say like, hey man, you're
Case
not
of
really a
emergency.
threat, but like, you never know you can't forget where you're at.
Yeah.
yeah,
And if anything goes down, like, which it could have, like, you're going to run into that room right there. It automatically locks, and you press that button, and it alerts all the guards on the whole state prison to come down. And it was like,
That brings it back
talking to
into
this
reality.
one guy, and he's like, you never would have known. And he's like, we were talking guitars, totally normal, like what I thought, And a guard comes up to me afterwards. He says, hey, man, don't talk to that dude. He's killed 6 people. And it's like, there's a line, it's a dangerous line, because I'm not in there to judge, but they're doing time, and they're in there for a reason. But you also can't forget where you're at, right? Where's that? It's like, can trip you out a little bit, and you're walking down the halls, and it looks like what you think it would look like.
Yeah.
And here's all the guys, and I'm walking down with my guitar, and everybody's lined up, and they're all in their suits and stuff in this ratty hallway, and I'm in there by myself. It's like, it's a little bit of oh shit, but
For sure.
I'm in there doing a thing, and they look forward to it year after year.
it's great you do it.
It's fantastic.
It's great you do it
did
because like what you said, like a song you play or the way you play it or the way you sing it might change their outlook even for a short time.
That's just it.
So that's great. That's incredible.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
We get to go out and play for people that are there to see us or buy a ticket, man. And that's a hard show, dude. And you're like Tully said, even if you're just changing the one person's life, dude, that's enough. That's absolutely
No doubt.
enough.
I've learned a lot of things actually doing those shows, because there is no other guitar player. There's no tech. I'm by myself, So
Wait, no tech?
Hold on.
Tully could never do that
Hold
show.
on.
Nor the Kurt, they'd be lost.
We're out.
They'd be
Zero.
lost.
Can't do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm out of
I
here.
have no idea, Ben.
Tech/bodyguard.
No, good. That's great, man. That's inspiring, and why you're Ben Gallaher.
Ben back Gallagher. And then you did the watermelon trick. We're here with Ben Gallaher. We're live on tape at the Patriot Mobile Studios.
Analog.
We got a couple sponsors we need to get to. We'll be right back on the other side.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
You know what goes great with small town stories?
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
You know, I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit. All right, we're back. Try That in a Small Town podcast from the Patriot Mobile Studios. We got Kalo, Thrash, TK, Kurt Fondue. It'll probably end up sticking. We got Ben Gallaher here. Man, he's got that guitar. We're going to have to talk about the lick that went viral.
This is a man's riff. Yeah. Dude, a grown man's country riff is what this is.
From what I understand, it was 35 million views across socials and all that. And you had people like even Peter Frampton talking about how awesome this was. Dude, I mean, how did this happen?
It's so wild, man. I'm telling you.
Get up a little closer here.
Absolute. This riff was a huge blessing, man. You'll get this, Kurt, as a guitar player. We come up with riffs all the time, and they can get away from you, and there's like your phones are filled with, all of us are filled with all kinds of different ideas and guitar riffs and bass lines, and it's like that one got away from me. I wrote it 5 years prior to posting it, and I just had forgot about it. And
was it like an exercise riff, or was it like, hey, I'm going to use this one day? You know, because Joe Walsh talks about life in the fast lane. Dude. That was just like an exercise thing for him, and he was playing it, and the guys were like, what the hell's that, dude? We need to put it in a song. So was your riff like that, or did you always think, you know, this could be part of a song?
I don't know that. It was just something I was messing around with, and I played it for a while, and I was like, man, this thing feels pretty cool. Yeah. And then I don't know, I moved on from it. And I would sound check and like play it a couple times, and then years had gone by, and I was floating through my phone, and I came across it. I was like, oh man, I forgot about this. This is cool. And it came right back to me, and I was like, I got it down, and then I was like, I'll just throw this up on Instagram. And I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't looking at the numbers or nothing. I thought it sounded cool. I posted it, and 7 days went by, and all of a sudden my Instagram starts lighting up. I mean, insane. I was like, what the freak is going on here? That riff is getting serious wings, and there's thousands of comments. Song title, ? What's the song title? I called Neil, who produces my stuff with his cousin Patrick, and I'm like, you've got to see this. This thing's going completely bananas. And we got to write. Label wanted to write us a song to it, which we were going to anyways. And so we wrote Stomp, and the title came to be because the caption on Instagram was boot stomping, because I was keeping time with my boot on a pedal board case doing the thing. Yeah. So that goes on, and I was like, well, maybe I got lucky with all the algorithm bullshit. You know, you never know. So I was like, I'm going to post it again. And that one went to 8 million. The first one went to 7 million. And every time I got posted, it kept going viral and viral and viral. And it was a huge blessing. And wild that even a short piece of music with no lyric can still make a lot of people feel a certain way, you know? And that's the cool thing about music is like,
dude,
play that riff. I love it. And then I have a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, play the riff. Hey, play the riff and maybe we'll go viral. No, let's hear it, because there's 35 million people have heard it, but let's hear this thing, man.
There we go.
How does it happen? marvelous.
Come on,
Dude.
Wow.
Now that art
On the
that-
52nd take. That's great.
you know,
That's perfect.
Dude, that's so
what I love about that,
badass.
it reminds me of like back in the day here playing sessions and demos here.
Yeah.
Like music like that, like Corn Floss had to, play those riffs like that, JT, and
Oh,
it's like,
man.
man, that's really awesome. Have you thought about, when that went viral, did it cross your mind like maybe like a guitar instrumental project, like an EP it obviously connected to what you played. I mean, that's crazy. Maybe
That's a great idea.
I think so.
I've never thought about doing that.
20%, you can have the idea. But seriously though, it's a very like niche thing, but like maybe you tapped into something when there's a little side hustle.
Yeah.
Off the
Yeah, it's
artist
pretty
thing.
cool, man.
But so the song was called Stomp, so that you ended up recording to that, right? And Neil, you wrote that with them, is that right?
Yeah,
Yep.
me and Wendell.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
I don't. We're not
As
on that
Neil
one?
would say, I don't remember,
remember
getting the call that day.
Did you get the call?
I live 9 miles away.
No, that's awesome. It's really
who
cool.
else? Who else? It was
And Patrick.
and Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
That's right. That's right. I just don't ever think of Pat on a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. 'Cause
It's
he
a
was
great
coming
riff,
up.
man.
We did something cool because there was a lot of guitar players that were commenting on it. They wanted to learn how to play it. So I was like, well, hey, I'm a Taylor guy, and I got with them and said, hey, would y'all want to do a special edition Taylor, the Stomp Taylor, and we're going to give it away to somebody, but we're going to do a contest. I'm going to do a slow down tutorial on how to play the riff.
What a
and
great
open it-
idea.
and open it up to submissions. And then they had to tag me and Justin Ostrander because I did it with him. He played on the session with us, and Taylor, and then so there was hundreds, so we got to watch them. But it's
Did you do that?
oh yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
did the thing. And the guy that won, he was fantastic. Well, he lived in he did not live in the U.S. I forget where he lived. Well, it cost like $800 to shoot the guitar, and the label was not happy. So now we do some more contests still to this day, and now they're
Residents of the US.
US only. And I was like, he was the best one. I mean, he was the best one. No, it had to go to him. He
That's
crushed it.
awesome.
He was the only one that because it's pretty. The picking pattern is pretty intricate.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a classic
you can-
label move, though. They'll blow $800 on a dinner that no one cares about, but they refuse to have a worldwide thing go on. That's where they draw the line.
I told him, I was like, there's people playing and posting this riff all over these all crazy countries. I was like, it's awesome. US only.
U.S. only.
We don't want to pay for that.
That's freaking business. I tell you what. Jeez, it is a great riff, man.
Thanks, man.
I saw
It's
still
still going. I mean, it's still blowing up.
It just went the other day. Some guitar page screen recorded the original post and posted it, and it went. It's like the gift that keeps on giving the whole year long.
Dude.
That's great, man.
So talk about the other songs on the project right now. You have the song Bullet Out, like this whole side of the table, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
That
Go
is-
ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead, Ben.
You got to talk about
Hey
it.
man, no, you go. It wasn't my title. Was it you or Chris August's title?
No, it was my title. We were writing with Chris August, and he writes for Brett James. He's an awesome guy. I mean, he's actually an artist himself, And anyway, we were just scanning through, all your ideas, and I just threw out this. I just called Bullet, and we just started talking about it, and take a bullet for you and all that. It's just a love song, right? Just kind
Great
of
song.
tough love song.
Great
Thank
song.
you. And
Needs a little bit better bass line, but it's fine.
that was out of my control. Let me tell you, I would have called.
That's okay.
You. I would've
Kalo
called you,
did play the bass on
but Neil was producing, and he said no, he wanted a different bass player. But anyway,
Just throw Neil under the bus.
no, but Chris August had this great melody to it and everything, but very old school. And I remember when he played it for Neil because it's this old school organ.
Yeah, I
it
know
sounds
it.
nothing like the cut. And then anyway, you played it for Neil, and then he said he may change a few things.
If that's okay.
Hey, it's fine with us. Just cut it. I don't care.
He put the Neil on it, and it's like he did his thing, man.
Yeah.
And it's like you took it over the top. big time. We left it open
It's
too.
It's my first thing out, writing for these two yo-yos over here. So everybody at this
Very
table.
excited. No, see, that's why we all posted it about
Everybody
it too.
at this
I know,
table has
seriously, I
interest in
appreciate
thing.
that big time.
I actually like, you know what's interesting about that song? For me, it's got a cool, like, almost like 90s rock thing to it though too, which I really like. I don't know if you meant to do that or anything, but it's, you know, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, Neil, what were you guys thinking when you were thinking about the production of that song?
Well, we rewrote the second verse.
Yeah.
Did it have a bridge and we took it out?
Yes.
There was a
you
bridge.
don't like bridges,
There was a
Neil.
bridge, and
No bridge, Neil.
The second verse was just softer, you know, like
Yeah.
it was too, you know, it had the dad in there and everything, and you know, it was just softer. And
Yeah.
then Neil got a hold of it and just made it. It was just,
toughened
it was
it
just
up.
better for the
Yeah.
title. Just it was more direct to it, and it was tougher.
In the way the original version that I heard, he was singing it. I take a bullet for you, and it was like
Yeah, changed the phrasing of the
I didn't-
bullet. Yeah.
just it was just little phrasing things and maybe a few notes here and there. And
Really good though.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That to me is a radio hit, you know, and it's like, I miss the days when A&R staff and the label head will say, you know, we're going to radio with that thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to let it see if it grows some legs instead of putting it out the DSPs and let's see what it does.
I know.
But those numbers can easily be manipulated. What something does
And
and,
they are
doesn't
manipulated.
doesn't
1000%.
do, and so it's really, we're taking the power of the listener away from what the listener, for all they know, Bullet could research through the moon at radio. Research, their favorite word.
I
It's
know it.
researching. But it's great.
Not if
Great
you don't
song,
give it a
guys.
shot, though. That's just it. And it's like, yeah, I could.
Well, this may be a good time, Ben. Like, so as one of 4 writers on it and having a 16-month-old baby, how is it doing? I haven't heard anything. You know, I couldn't wait for tonight just to get the report and
I think you need to call the label for that.
call the label.
That's
Okay.
the label.
Okay. All right.
That's right. That's right. It was their pick for the single. I had other picks, but I'm like, that's a good pick too. I thought there was when you have a handful of songs that you can put out 1st, you know,
It's a powerful
that's a good
song.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, it is. And I said this in the live show. If you've ever loved anybody at all, you can relate to that song.
Yeah.
And so the EP is called Bullet as
Yep.
well.
That's right.
And when can we expect that, or is it out?
Yeah, the EP came out with the Bullet drop.
Okay, great.
And we're about to go into cut at the end of the month.
Dude.
Which I'm fired up. Nobody gets me musically more than Neil.
Well, that's what you need. Producer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, seriously,
understands.
not to toot Neil's horn, but like, you know, I think there's a power to having a veteran in the business, a great songwriter, great singer. Like, you need that. Like, you know, it comes down to songs, and you know, it's nice to have that.
No,
when you-
big time.
to
I
lean
mean, I
on,
owe
lean
so
on
much
when you
to
get
him. I always said, like, a sign of a great producer is when they pull something out of an artist that the artist didn't know they had in them, and they make the artist the best that they can be on tape.
I told him he would hate me at the end, the first time we ever cut.
No, I
was
still
"Yes, you're
do."
gonna hate me."
Well,
And this
it's
is
a
kind of
love.
yeah.
And it was mainly for vocal stuff. I was like, when we start doing vocals, you're gonna hate me.
So this is perfect right here. This is good. So because we were talking about, even I think on our last show, about co-writing with Neil, and sometimes, yeah. So you can say, you know, you feel like you've got something, and you're about to say something, and he'll stick out his hand and go shh 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 shh.
Did I do
That means no matter what you have, I've got something better. So my question to you is, in the studio as a producer, what's it like? Because I've seen him like demoing songs and stuff, and he's cool and talking to the players, says, yeah, that sounds good, or maybe pick it up a little bit. What's it like cutting a record in there? Because I hadn't seen that with Neil. What's it like?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm upstairs at Pat's studio, and he's downstairs with Pat. This is no shit.
Language.
With a baseball bat, hitting the top of the rafter when I'm not hitting the note right.
I can see that.
That's amazing.
That is so clear to
What are
see.
you doing?
That's amazing.
I'm not an asshole.
No, he gets little Tommy Tough Nuts with me up there.
I love it.
It's just to lighten the mood a little bit. You know, lighten up the room a little bit.
And it kind of
I
brings.
can tell you what, when I hear back the final, you know, it's hard because And he's right every time about it, you know. And I don't buck him, you know. I trust him completely.
Yeah.
Well, like Tully said, I mean, Neil, we've been having fun, but he is a pro, and he's one of the most talented people that we all know. I mean, you are lucky to have him, and it's incredible with Pat there, too.
I have to, you know, I couldn't do this without Patrick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my cousin Patrick Thrasher, because he's like, I mean,
he's a monster.
Yeah. Even he's not just a mix guy, not just an engineer. This dude, I mean, he has changed the direction of some songs that we've done that I did not hear. I'm like, what? And I want, at first I go, we can't do that, you know, and then we do it, and I'm like, oh shit, he was right.
Yeah, Patrick.
That is better.
Talented.
Well, that's part of the
Thrasher
thing,
DNA.
too.
That's it, you know.
Like, and you as an artist, you know, the first thing that happens when, you know, things aren't happening quickly is like, oh, it must be production, or it must be this. The most important lesson, if you're, as an artist, if you're comfortable and you think the producer's getting the best out of you, just stay the course. It's timing, it's the songs, it's whatever, but like, it's, you know, if you're comfortable, because the label loves that. Oh, it must be the production.
It's, yes.
Oh,
You know,
that's as old as time as they'll blame.
Or blame anything, whether it's the production or it wasn't writing songs. Yeah, never
Writing
that.
songs.
Yeah. But I think it's important. Like just keep doing what feels good.
I already told Ben, I was like, you know, if this next EP doesn't work, I'm like, you know who the first one to get fired is, right? Yep. It's always the producer.
But you know what?
I told him that's not happening.
Don't ever say that.
No, there's something to that though. I mean, even Jason, there were times when, you know, we were in a slump and they're like, well, Jason, maybe it's the production, maybe it's like, no.
Yeah.
Here's my team. I feel comfortable with this team. You know, it's just timing, and maybe it's a little bit of the label dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Or all of it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's all the label dropping the ball. So, you know, but if you're comfortable, that's the biggest thing.
I'd go to war with Neil and Pat in the
See?
studio.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing I
Then
wouldn't do.
that's the recipe for success. It's just it's coming. You know,
And now it's on tape, so you can't take it back.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I don't plan on it.
Right?
And we never edit anything.
never.
See, what's fun to me is Neil's so melodic, and when I'm doing the overdub solos and intro riffs, if I'm like, even if I'm not hung up on something, or you know, he'll start humming a melodic line, and then I'll do it on. So like me and Pat and Neil are a well-oiled machine, and for an artist, that's a huge deal because some guys go their whole career and still don't find that right match. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, if you know who you are as an artist, that's the biggest key. Even, you know, you find that out when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you find out who you are. When it's not going well, it's like, okay, well, here's what I do well. Maybe what I do well, maybe now is not the exact time, but I know this is what I do. And it's just getting through that and seeing your way through it versus trying to change to what you think someone wants you to be.
No doubt.
Or what works. You know, because that will definitely, Kurt says it all the time, like if you're not authentic, then the listener sees right through, they see right through that.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Well, luckily the label still believes in us, so we'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
Benny's been a huge
Yeah,
huge believer
Benny's
in
loyal,
what
man.
I'm doing.
He believes in you.
He believed in Aldine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was people don't know. It's like the same guy that's heading up Ben's label was the head of the label that Jason started.
that's who gave Jason, really, without
Brown.
Benny,
Yeah.
I mean, none of us are here.
Yeah, Benny
I don't know,
Brown
I mean,
was the head of BBR when Jason got signed.
You know.
That's
Yep.
who's Ben's working.
And he's passionate about Ben.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for Benny Brown.
Yeah, great guy. Benny gave us our first break at producing. You know, I mean,
No kidding.
Oh yeah, after you know, breaking with Jason and earning this trust in that way, you know, Benny started letting us produce. You know, we produced those Thompson Square albums, and he gave us the keys to the car for a while, and we produced, 6 or 7 acts over there. You know, so he is a loyal believer in talent and in what people bring to the table. You know.
And everybody at this table has a song on the next session.
Wow.
Nice.
Which one?
Love hearing that.
Which song?
Love It's hard.
Oh, it's a good song.
Now that is a
We are cutting
killer
that
bass
one.
line I played on the demo. So yeah, send it over. I'm going to recreate that magic.
So remember that title, and
That's a good one.
I'm
You
cutting.
don't have
badass
to tell them
song.
ours.
Why not?
Because I always get weird about titles. Out
You do?
There. Yeah.
It's just called Where Do You Go?
Yeah. Just don't tell them. Just don't tell them how we hook it. Yeah. Yeah.
I won't.
And it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're so old school like that, dude. All these new artists, they post the song they wrote today and
I'm
they put
telling
it
you,
on
man, I
there.
saw that.
Oh yeah.
It's just we're old.
I see it all.
I know.
They,
We
they
are
post
old. I
their,
know.
they post their writing sessions, the audio
Yeah.
of their writing sessions,
Yeah.
out on socials for the world to hear. Like when it's brand new, it's a baby.
Yeah.
We are a bunch
Yeah.
of old men.
I'm like, well, I would never do that, ever.
I call that burning songs.
Let's talk about Eagle Scouts.
Ooh, risky.
Question for y'all.
Oh no, bring it.
Flip it. Let's go.
Flip that
I got a
shit.
question for y'all. So I know in the show, I mean, you guys have so many hits now. It's hard probably to even get them in on your. How long's the show?
It's an hour and a half. We do 20. How many songs do we do?
We do 27 songs with almost no talking to get.
It's a lot.
Like-
It is a lot. We don't. He doesn't talk much at all. And as you've read the news lately, he just had his 30th #1, and that didn't count in some of the ones that were 2, 5, 7. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot of hits
We
not
leave,
being played.
we have to leave some out. We don't have enough time, but yeah, I mean these days it's 27 cram packed. I bet you he talks 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we always try to do though. Is like just play the hits.
Yeah.
At this point, you know,
For sure.
us,
So this is
you
my
know?
question, and I get that you got to play your hits. Do you ever have, and y'all would never do this, but do you ever have times where it's like, man, I'd sure love to play Back in the Cigarette,
Album
Fast,
cuts.
Texas was some of those deep album cuts that weren't singles, like, but and you'd never blow out one of the big hits. You know, you guys, I get that, but do you ever have times where you're like, man, I loved that song. I wish we could play it live.
We did have some of those conversations. It's funny you started to mention Texas Was You. That was one of the songs that we put in the set just because Jason loved it, and we'd play it. But we don't do it much, or we can't now because there's.
I get it.
You know,
Yeah.
there's hits to play.
We spent years, and this is fun to talk about because I think when you're building a set list every year in different parts of your career, when Hicktown was at 40 or 39 and climbing, you know, we started with it, played it in the middle, and did an 18-minute version at the end. That's true. So, and then we had, you know, what Why comes
Why
out, and we
and
had a hit, and so all of a sudden we spent years building a set list with only 2-3 hits, and we get to 4 hits. And then at this point, like, honestly, I think we use all the years like going to shows. Like, I try to go to as many shows as I possibly can my whole life. As a listener, I remember going to hear Tom Petty and all these people I love, and I always wanted to hear the song. I didn't want to leave there not hearing the song I loved. And I think Jason's, as much as we would like to play some B-sides, is it for us? Doing something just for us doesn't seem as important as doing something for the crowd. That comes back every year. We've been on the road 20-something years now, and they're still coming. And it's like this year we put in Why again, which we haven't played in over 10 years.
Really?
Whole version of it.
How's it
Album
go over?
Great.
Great.
And we have so much fun with it because it's been so long since we played it.
It's new to you guys.
Yeah, it's fun to do that, but I always like
It's probably new to the crowd too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they know,
They-
they know the song. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, I remember this one. You know,
Yeah, they lose their mind over it. So it's like, I think, and all of us are like real cautious about making sure, like, if we were out there, what would we want to hear? And we're still leaving so many out. You know, we're still not playing everything. So there's some songs that just aren't in there that, you know, it's tough to leave out.
I think it was it might have been Paul McCartney that said this in some interview, and it's talking about what songs he plays. You know, how does he pick? You know, out of all the hits and everything. And he goes, you know, I usually play the hits, and every now and then I'll play something new, so they got time to go get a beer and go to the bathroom. Because he said as soon as he plays something new, so they're gone. They're scattered.
Gone.
Well, you know what's interesting these days, which this is what I really miss most about albums. and records being released in a normal album cycle. So Tough Crowd, the song we wrote, you know, the last album, love that song.
Great song.
So in the old days, like if we'd put an album out and it was in stores and bought and people listened to an album, Tough Crowd, you know, we opened the show with it. Great song. It never had the impact it deserved because people don't absorb the albums like they used to. So
Yeah, that's a great point.
So it's harder to build a
They
set
don't.
now like that because we used to be able to put a song in a B-side, but we knew they listened to it.
Yeah, if you put in anything from the My Kind of Party record, it went over the same as a single because that thing sold 4 or 5 million records. You know, it's
Right.
like everybody knew every song on the record.
But no one's really absorbing albums like they used to. Where I remember I couldn't wait to listen to an album, you know. So I wish, you know, I kind of missed that where I can tell like where we started the show with Tough Crowd. What a great opening song, and people, it's not like they liked it, but it didn't connect like it would have had it been like people buying the album
And they
going
hadn't
to
heard
get
it.
them and
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Well, people are pumping out so much music now all the time.
Well, there's no as soon as they listen to it, it's old.
Yeah.
You know, you put X amount of songs out, and 1 week later, like, when we get more music, well, you know,
Yeah. Took a minute to create that.
yeah. So it's the attention span is definitely, you know, lacking. So when you build your set list, that's so. Do you have some covers you play to at this point? Still do a couple covers.
If we're doing, if I'm doing like a 75 or a 90, I'll have a handful of covers
Yeah.
in there that I'll kind of.
What are some of the covers you do?
I do. I was just telling Neil this. I do old time rock and roll.
Oh yeah, it's one of my jams.
But in the middle of it, drummer kind of brings it way down, and I'll start doing this lead bit because I'm doing a lot of 3-piece stuff right now.
Woo!
like
so
it.
it's just
Dude, you're
like,
covering some ground now.
dude.
And so, anyways, I'll go into Sharp Dressed Man. Get down,
Yeah.
down, boom, 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 and then go right into Life in the Fast Lane riff, and then I'll go into Layla by Clapton, and then find my way back into old time. But I like doing that stuff, and the crowd loves it, you know, and it's familiar. But I'll do Take It Easy, the Eagles. I'll do a rocked up version of Old Red.
Ooh,
And then
like that.
Cool.
I was doing Liza Jane for a minute, just for a little. It's like
Nice.
about the only
Really?
super country.
You tackle some Vince?
Yeah, that solo's a monster.
Yeah.
It's all about
Dude,
the
people
guitar.
don't realize Vince so good.
yeah,
Dude, he was
Amazing.
legit.
He's on tour right now. He's still slaying.
yeah.
He's
Tom
touring right now.
Bukovacs playing with him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So
That's
Tom's a
legit.
monster.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, he is. Yeah,
I mean, it's a guitar town. It's still the best guitar players. We got one sitting right here.
I know it.
Yeah.
You know,
Who won't
We got
play?
one sitting right here.
No,
so
no
it's-
passion.
Somebody behind me? Book it back here?
I think we should ask our listeners. I think we should, start a coup.
Start a coup.
With our listeners. Let them just to line up the message
Oh, it's
boards.
definitely paywall
We
stuff.
we want Kurt to play. We want
Definitely
Fondue to start wailing.
Yeah, what's
Let's go.
going on, man?
Oh, man, this
me
is a
explain.
deep question. You
It's-
might need to put me on the couch for it.
Here's one of my favorite things. I remember. So we were in a
I don't know.
rock.
He's a fantastic player.
I know.
Oh,
Yes, he is.
Well, I tell you what, this is great. We were in a rock band, me, him, and Rich in the early 2000s, late 90s. And back in those days, we would literally sit in the house and we create these crazy songs and parts. And Kurt comes up with the craziest, coolest stuff. And like he always jokes about not having passion for the guitar. He bleeds passion with the guitar. the thing about it is like we're absorbed. You guys can relate to this. Absorbed in it every single day, and it's like it's a blessing, but also like sometimes it's it never ends.
It's a 24/7
Our,
job.
listen,
all
our
of what we
listeners
do.
want it.
I know.
Neil wants it.
How bad do they want it? Do they want it for $7.99 a month?
And I did wonder on that, like because you're playing generally, you say 26 songs, something like that, 23,
Yeah,
something like that.
27, yeah.
So are you playing all the solos and everything pretty much exactly like the record as much as possible? And if so, is that why you might not have the passion for it, because you're not creating something new each time? You're playing the same thing you've already created a long
Don't
time
give him
ago.
an out, Kalo.
No, I'm
No,
just
no, no.
I'm curious.
I think
I'm
we
curious.
relish playing exactly what's on the record.
That's another thing we learned. Like, the most annoying thing you can do to a fan
I
is
agree.
come up with some terrible version because you're bored.
'Cause you're bored.
It doesn't
That's right.
matter if
I
you're
totally
bored.
agree.
They're the one paying the ticket. I always thought that was so disrespectful to your fan base if you find the need to completely change a song around.
Yeah, we're
There's
not
a-
the Grateful Dead.
No,
You know,
yeah. Go out there and we'll
Yeah.
do things inside the song to change it up
Yeah.
per year. You know what I mean? But the fans deserve. They're going there to hear these songs played like they know them, like they can
Yeah.
sing them. You know, I always thought that, again, that's always learned from, like, I saw Tom Petty 10, 11 times in my life. You know, even when I saw the Police on the reunion tour, they still did the stuff like you remember it. Mm-hmm. You know, I always thought that was,
yeah, the solos are just like the record.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's Adam Schoenfeld that played the solo or me. It's got to be the solo that's on the record. Got to be.
Nice.
One of the things I've always loved about what y'all do is those
please
songs.
continue, Ben.
Turn his mic up, Jim.
This is paywall stuff.
Y'all's stuff is so guitar driven, and it's the intro riff. As soon as those songs come on, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a thing anymore in country as
No,
much.
you're right. You're
Rock
right.
things, it was always a thing in rock, right? It was so identifiable by that intro riff.
That's
was
part of the
hook. Before
songwriting.
you even get to the lyrical hook, it's a whole musical hook from the top. Like, Hicktown, she's country. Tattoos on this town. Down, down, down. You know in 2 seconds what that is. It's so identifiable, and I've always loved that with what y'all do. And it's kind of a dying breed in today's country music.
It really is, and I don't know how to. I don't even think probably all of us don't know how to create music that isn't like that, because if it doesn't have a hook, musical hook, I can't even fathom
either.
that. Shoot, we go into. It doesn't matter the bass part; he creates a hook. If I'm in the chorus, it doesn't matter if something's going on. I better create an alternate melody, a counter hook to what's going on. That's just the way that I think all of us think.
Wired.
And I'll give a lot of credit to Knox too on that, because it's easy as a producer to try to interject too much. Michael's a great producer. He's a great song guy. He's also, his magic tool is that if something feels good to him, then it is good. But he gives us also the freedom to, like, come up with those hooks.
Yeah.
You know, like, it.
It's the
You
same
can't
thing
have
as, like,
enough of
yeah,
them.
That's
You
right.
can't have enough hooks. And if something adds to the song and makes someone remember it, then that's a great
Look,
thing.
you we've already mentioned their names, both guys, because both those guitar players are on the session that we're fixing to do. Bukovac and Schoenfeld. They're the two guitar players that we have on this session coming up. And if you think that me and Pat are going to go in there and think we have all these brilliant ideas about what they're going to play, you let them hear the work tape, because we'll play all the work tapes live. We may play them over, but we'll be playing with them and singing them live for these guys so they can hear them. We won't play demos, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so they can use,
We hire players for a reason.
I've always found that whenever we did stuff with him, if we did a good live version right there on the spot of the song that we were getting ready to do, it lets their creative thinking they're not listening to what we think we already want it to sound like.
Yeah.
Sometimes the demos are the other way they need to be. Like Love Is Hard, we're going to cut that one. It's probably going to be really close to that. So they'll probably hear that one. But on other stuff, we'll play it live for them and let them do it. And I'm not going to tell Bukovac and Schoenfeld. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut until we get going, And I'm sure that's what Knox does with you guys. He gives y'all the freedom to be creative.
Well, plus, we've talked about it before, and, it's the same crew of guys in there for over 20 years in the same studio and the same chairs when we do these Aldine records.
Yeah.
Same everything. And so there's a it's a comfort factor in being comfortable, which is a thing that you're figuring out too. If you're comfortable with the system, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's right. That's working. It's never the production. It's never, the songs are great. Production's great. It's timing. It's like, and I hate to say it, but is the label doing everything on their end? Because today's tough. Cutting through all the noise, like you said, the other 100 male acts that are coming out, it's challenging to kind of cut through that. To really just stay the course.
Hey, so getting back to Bullet, is there a music video for that?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
Are we in it? No.
Well, we called. You didn't answer. Did you change your number? Just kidding.
You got my new number, Ben. You got my new. Come on, Ben.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, the music video for Bullet Out. It's intense.
Is it out right now?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
YouTube, is that where we find it?
Yeah. Y'all look it up.
Okay.
The listeners out there, check it out.
Oh yeah.
It's not what you think it would be.
Were you surprised, Kalo? Talk
Very
to me.
surprised. Yes.
Really?
Well, don't be so coy.
In a bad way. You didn't like it.
No, I just want people to watch it.
Kalo didn't like it.
I just want people to watch
That's
it.
assy, Kalo.
No, I didn't. I just want people to watch it. I'm giving them tease.
You didn't like it, Kalo.
It's all right.
He doesn't.
No, I didn't like it.
Have you commented on it?
Nope. No.
I knew he didn't like it.
Burn your phone?
When he texted me back, I could tell by the way he texted.
Oh,
me.
really?
Like,
No, I gave you a little flame,
He's
a
like,
little
"Oh,
fire
that's
emoji.
cool.
I gave you a little
That's
fire
cool,
emoji.
might as well
I gave
be
you a
it."
fire emoji and one money
Bro,
bag.
why'd you do
I'm
that?
kind of an intense person, so I was looking for like, man, that was freaking badass. It's like, I didn't get that.
I can look it up. I think I gave you one fire emoji and one money bag. That's pretty good.
No, one fire emoji doesn't
That's
get
not
it.
enough.
No. You needed three. It's a minimum of 3 fire
Not
emojis.
these days. These kids are doing a bunch of fire emojis and.
It was late. I was milking the baby.
Okay.
Interesting.
No, it's pretty intense though, right? I mean,
It is intense. I mean, I didn't write the script, but it's intense, and I don't know how much I want to talk about it because I don't want to give.
No,
you
no,
want
let's
to watch it.
let's
They're
push
gonna
people
watch
there.
Tell them about it. They're gonna go now. This is you
Yeah,
want
we
them
need
to
to
go
push
watch it.
people there.
Yeah.
It gets intense at the end.
Okay.
Kalo,
Does somebody
were you
die?
surprised with the?
Did I just give it away? Did I do an
This
M.
guy
Night
got
Shyamalan?
shot.
Yes.
He was surprised that the guy got shot.
You were. Well,
Well,
bullets
that
don't
wasn't-
come out of
it did-
baseball bats.
Well, it just wasn't the way that I imagined him. He didn't really take. Yeah, he took a bullet. He took a bullet. He's going to take a bullet whether she was there or not. Is the whole thing. You know what I mean? He's robbed the store.
I got to go watch this thing right now.
So he got shot, sure. Yeah, but he would have got shot whether he's with her or not because he robbed.
Well, he
the
did
store.
it for her.
What was he?
Yeah,
what
but-
was he
Yeah, he
doing?
was robbing for her.
For money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was trying to
Yeah.
feed his family.
Getting
Yeah.
baby shoes?
I know. No, I
You don't like
I
it.
saw it.
He doesn't like it. The point is,
Y'all go watch the
I would
video.
take a bullet.
So we do. We need to go watch a video. Leave your comment on what people think of it. If you like it, if you don't like it, just
Stir
watch
up
it.
something here. This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
You didn't like
Stir
there
it
was a
up.
gun in it.
No,
I'm just
I
kidding.
didn't
I know,
mind
just
that.
kidding.
Taylor's
No, I don't
anti-guns.
mind
Yes.
Yeah, there had to be something happen there. Yeah,
And while you're on YouTube, leave us a comment as well, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Subscribe. Go check out Ben's socials. He's doing pretty good.
Yep.
And
He's
check-
doing real
and
good.
go see him live.
You got to see Ben
Absolutely.
live.
Not in
Everybody's
the
gotta see him.
prisons, at the regular shows.
That's a fact.
He is one of the best players and singers. You know,
Absolutely.
for sure. I mean, he's pulled the
100%.
heck out of.
Do you
Neil
know
and I,
where you're
know.
playing this summer?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, can you name a few or a bunch?
Are you going back home to Pennsylvania?
No,
You got any of
actually.
those?
Oh, yeah. I think we're out with Brantley in Pennsylvania.
There you
Actually,
go.
in August, we're going to Chicago.
Nice.
We're going to Green Bay. We're going out to Idaho.
Where can they go? BenGallaher.com or your Insta? Where can they find all these dates?
Well, they're about to be announced this week, actually.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect timing.
Yeah. So anywhere, BenGallaher.com.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole.
Yeah, don't even get us
You
started.
can't go out on the road until we're done with the EP.
Yeah.
I'll have you locked down for about a month.
In the studio.
You're mine for a month.
And then that's when we practice our golf game, and then we play Neil the day after that thing's done, and he's been sequestered
That's right.
for a month. That's when we take him
Oh,
down.
that's when we got to do it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hey, did you guys get to try that in a small town tattoos yet? Kurt, did you get one?
No.
No, we needed to get to 1 million followers. It was so close.
I remember the episode.
It was so close.
really-
We
I've
almost
listened
got there.
to about them all. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan, y'all.
Oh, that's nice.
I really
Thank
want
you,
to.
Ben.
Again,
We've got
glad to-
3.
These guys are, man. They're dragging their feet, man.
You're covered up.
I always find.
Yeah, he's
room.
got no spot.
I'll find room.
Caleb, nobody, you two
You're the
don't
only
have
one
any
that can
either.
talk
Why do
him
I
into
get
doing
the
it.
flack?
He's not
No.
going to get one.
Well, Aldine was going to design one for us.
Yes.
You know, so we're waiting on the design. And then it has to go through approvals, you know.
I'm still all about it because I love that song and the moment, and you know, so it always means something. So,
I mean, a monumental song.
yeah,
A monumental song.
thank you, buddy. It was really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
We got to get you a
Just-
monumental song, buddy. That's what we got to do. That's the next mission.
And dude, just stay.
It's coming. You got it. You're
Like-
on it right now.
And
No,
I hope
we're-
you're not.
we're working
like,
hard. We're
You're
working
such
hard.
a good guy, and you know that we love you. I like keep doing it. I know you're frustrated. You got to
Yeah.
be. You know, but it's like you're in the game and just cutting great music, great producer, great songs. It's like, you know, it'll get there.
Yeah. Just
Frustrating.
doing what I do, man.
Hey, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Totally. I mean,
You know,
if I didn't love it so much, I'd have been like, man,
Yeah, I'm out.
you know, you have to, I said that before, you have to do it because you love it, man. And there's, you know, wading through there's a lot of politics, and like in any other industry,
Like
man.
any business we talk about
Every
all the
other
time, dude,
industry,
there's
but-
politics in everything.
Yeah, so you have to navigate. It's like the hard thing is like I get frustrated on things that I can't control, and I have to remember like, well, I can't control that, but what I can control is trying to write and play the best I can, right? With the gift that I feel like I've been given, right? That's what I can control. I can't control what all the other shit's going on, and I'm pretty good, man, with having like horse blinders on in terms of like I don't get hung up on, you know, the social media or man, that dude got on this or that dude got on, like I don't, which is good, man. That's a blessing too, because I don't get like I don't struggle with that, any of that at all. I try to do what I do, you know, and just keep plowing forward. I never had a plan B. Figure if you have a plan B, man, you're already setting yourself up for failure.
never had a
mentally.
plan B. Never. I think, and I do think, it's interesting because my son, he's in acting, and you know, I always tell him like, you know, it's you got to get through all the tough times, but a plan B can be too easy to go to. You know what I
Totally.
mean? And you know, if you believe in yourself and what you're here to do, then it'll happen. You know, you've been working hard for a long time. Your time's coming.
I appreciate y'all.
I think Love Is Hard might be the one.
Here we go.
Just fast forward through Bullet. Hey,
once
listen,
you-
love is
once
hard.
you- once you
Let's
get
don't
through
jump
Bullet.
off Bullet yet. It's
Well,
not
the
been out that
video.
long.
I don't know the video.
Love is Hard is sick song.
Once we get through Bullet, I think we're set. I think we use Bullet as a good stepping stone
Hey, I
to
was
an actual radio single.
Do not sacrifice Bullet.
All right. This has been fun. Like I said, go check out Ben's socials. He's all over. You're in all of them, right?
all of them.
He's everywhere.
All of them.
Thank y'all for having me on.
Dude,
It's a big. Listen, it's an honor for me to be here with y'all, with all of y'all.
Ben, we love
No
you, and you're
doubt.
one of the most talented dudes on the planet.
That
You're
is.
Oh,
amazing.
man, I don't
Thanks
know
for
about that,
coming.
but I
You are.
appreciate that
You are.
big time. It means a lot coming from y'all.
You are.
Well, believe
You'll
it,
get
son.
there, man. We're pumped for you.
All right. Don't forget about us either. Go to YouTube, leave us a comment, go to Insta, follow, show us some love on X. We're trying to, get our numbers up there. So go there, show us some love. TikTok, I think we're doing okay on TikTok, surprisingly enough.
Better if you start playing that guitar on here,
Dude,
Kurt.
Yeah.
we're using that lick of yours, and we're going to see if we can juice our socials.
That's what I'm
I love it. Seriously, Ben, thank you so much for being here. For Ben, for Thrash, K-Lo, TK, I'm Kurt.
Fondue.
Cheers, fellas.
We're at the Patriot
Cheers,
Mobile
brother.
Studios. This is the Try That in a Small
Thanks,
Town
Ben.
podcast. Ben, thank you, brother.
Thank y'all.
Buddy.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.